Well, hello and welcome to Women Finding Clarity. I'm your host, Pascale. I want to start out by wishing you a very happy new year. It's hard to believe it's 2025, at least for me. It really seems to be true that the older you get, the faster time goes. For me, it seems like time moved more slowly until I had my first baby. Then time was measured by her milestones and then the milestones of my two boys. And I'm wondering right now, is it the same for people without children? Does time seem to move faster the older you get? Or not necessarily because you are still judging time by your own milestones. And speaking of time moving faster, welcome to season 5 of the podcast. I'm not sure how this is even possible. As you know, this podcast started out as an experiment because my co host and I had zero idea of what we were doing. We just had an inspired thought to create a podcast. And here we are, one co host, two name changes, and 4 seasons down with no end in sight, thankfully. With all of that, please know that I'm once again beginning a new season with gratitude in my heart for all of you who have joined us along the way, and for those of you who have been here since the beginning. I couldn't do this without each and every one of you showing up every week. And in the spirit of the new year, I want to share with you a bit about what season 5 is going to look like. Firstly, no name change this year, so that's good. But more than that, I want to start having monthly themes and topics, and maybe even watch for a series on a particular topic that commands even more attention. So, for example, January is going to be all about new beginnings and intentions. I want to do everything I can to help you feel more empowered to start the year aligned with clear intentions and tools to manifest your goals. I'm also very excitedly planning something to help you do exactly that. So keep your eyes peeled for even more details coming soon. I want this podcast to be yours as much as it is mine. I want to hear from you. What topics would you like me to cover this year? What kind of guests do you want to hear from? What have been your favorite episodes that you'd like to learn more about? When you hear a guest that you love, let me know and I can see about bringing them back again another time. Let's continue to grow and evolve in 2025. Let's be women finding clarity together. Let this be your go to podcast because life doesn't come with a roadmap, but clarity can be your compass. So, as you're thinking about all those questions, send me an email. Let me know your favorite episode, a guest that you loved, topics you'd like for me to bring. You can email me at pascal@womenfindingclarity.com, and I will put my email in show notes for ease of access. Finally, as we're coming into this new year, I want to pull a card for all of us as we're moving through the energy of January 2025. So, two cards have actually popped for us. The first one, oh, and these cards are from Getting into the Vortex with Esther and Jerry Hicks. The first card that came, it says, inspired action is always pleasurable action. And the card says, the dominance of your thoughts is what brings everything to you and is what is behind the action that you offer. By seeking good feeling thoughts that align with you and with your source, your action then will always feel good. You cannot muster enough action to compensate for misaligned thoughts, but action that is inspired from aligned thought is always pleasurable action. I love that. And to that end, I'm listening to a book called Don't Believe Everything You Think. It talks about thought being a noun and thinking being a verb. So thought is a noun. It just is. It's a thing, right? Inspired thought is a thing. It's when we get lost in the thinking, the doing, the verbiness of thinking. That's when we run into trouble. That's when we start thinking, having thoughts that are not aligned. That's when we start talking ourselves out of the inspired thought that we have. And so I want to, with that book and this card, remind us all to lean into the inspired thought, the pleasurable action of the inspired thought, and to not get lost in the thinking about the thought. And so the second card that popped out says, I came as an extension of source energy, dot, dot, dot. Think about, before I read the card, what does that mean to you? I came as an extension of source energy. The card says, you came as a physical extension of source energy, understanding that you would explore contrast, causing expansion, not only for you, but for all that is. You knew that you could find your way back to the resources of your source by feeling your way and by understanding that relationship between you and you with a capital Y is not one of separateness, but of alignment and resonance. When you master the art of allowing, your consistent alignment with your source is within you. Every other relationship will be beneficial and pleasurable. How can you, and now I'm off card, how can you let you with a capital Y be the extension of source energy? Allow that to be all that is, because it comes from all that is. So, how can you allow your feeling within you back into your source that lives within inside of you, that extension of all that is? How can you allow that to guide you in this life, in this day, in this week, in this month, in this week, in this year? How can you allow your connection to source, to all that is, guide you and allow your inspired thought to come through? Remember, clarity, confidence, and joy are always within reach. As we close this week, I just want to remind you that life doesn't come with a roadmap, but clarity can be your compass. Thank you for being here week after week. Thank you for being part of the Women Finding Clarity community. And remember that clarity, confidence, and joy are always within reach. Good night. Thank you for being in our Women Finding Clarity community. If you're enjoying this podcast, please consider leaving us a 5-star rating and review on your favorite listening platform and share it with someone you know so they can find clarity from the conversation as well. Remember, the universe is abundant and success is your birthright. Let's align, elevate, and thrive together, one conversation at a time. See you next week.